Great. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's evening is going good. All right. So, as we are meeting daily at 8 p.m. with something new. So, today, as I've already started with a lot of series of parenting, basically. So, there are a few more things which I'm going to add on today in parenting. So, give me a minute. Okay. I hope my screen is visible. All right. Okay. So as we have already uh, floated the flyers, and today's topic is on parenting one more time with something new. So basically, parenting on balancing social and personal life to adolescents, or how parenting is helping to balance social and personal life. There would be some tips, and I have humble request if everyone can participate and can give their own inputs. That would be great. Okay, so let's start with it. So one more time, good evening to everyone, and I would like to start today's session with some of the case studies. However, I'll be reading these things and I'll be explaining also. So we can say that I am Maniisha and this is Neeta, and we'll share a story with you. So let's consider there are some characters like Abhi, Jay, Rishi, and Mia, and they are the kids who are actually bunking the classes at school several times. And they had been also caught getting into fights, so that the school authorities had called their parents. So it happens with all of us. It might have happened in our school time. So this was the situation, and these are all Abhi, Jay, Rishi, and Mia. They are basically teenagers. So this was the situation in each teenager's home after the parents were called to the school for a discussion. So now there are four kinds of parenting, and I'll explain the situations, what happened at home after this situation. Let's discuss this. The first kind of parenting is authoritative parenting at Abhi's home. What kind of that parenting? So they were worried about those parents of Abhi's, they were worried about him. And they asked him if their complaints, whatever complaint they have received, is true. And what is the real story behind it? And they actually told Abhi that we were not expecting such kind of behavior in school, and people are complaining about you. And we are very unhappy. And they were very, and they assured him that uh, we will all deal with the problem together and this will not happen for the next time. So this is something which is known as authoritative parenting. Second situation I would say is authoritarian parenting at Jay's home. As I said that in the starting, that there are four characters, four different kids. So Jay's parents responded to the situation with anger, and they did not listen, and they scolded him, and they warned him that now we are punishing you and we will not allow you to go out with friends. There was no healthy discussion between Jay and his parents. The third kind of parenting is permissive. That happened at Rishi's home. Rishi's parents reacted very casually, calmly. They told Rishi that no need to worry. And they were sure that Rishi could not do something like this in the future. They blamed actually school staff for wrongly accusing Rishi and totally ignored the situation. And the last one is neglectful. And that happens at Mia's place. So Mia's parents were least bothered about the complaint from the school, and they did not even discuss the situation with her. And they were busy in their own work and not even responded to the situations. So through situations, I have explained there are four kinds of parenting, and how different parents with different kids have handled the situation. So I'll definitely come to the topic which we have started, how to balance personal and social. But in the starting, I'm just it's an awareness which I'm providing to each one of you. And these are some of the parenting styles, that is, controlling styles or responsiveness of the parents, authoritative, permissive, as we have already seen, authoritarian parenting, and neglecting parenting. So, which we have already seen that. So, basically, this is Erickson's psychosocial theory. I'll go some into psychology, because at this stage of adolescence, we can see, however, right now, that there are many stages, I would say, psychosocial stages or development of a child. It starts from infancy, because there are 8 stages: toddler, preschool, primary, adolescence, young adulthood, middle adulthood, and maturity. So we're specifically talking today regarding adolescence and what are the challenges basically they face. So basically, they majorly face that they actually find their identity, and that what is their role in the society. They are really confused. And experimentation with social roles fosters a sense of identity. This is their basically stage, adolescence. Now we will talk more about adolescence. So this is the stage of adolescence. We all have gone through these stages, and few of your children might be going through these stages. So time of transition and change, and adults in training, incredible change that evolve many areas: neurological, hormonal, emotional, social, and spiritual too. This is the room of a teenager, sorry, and this is, they are playing games. So basically, I would like to first more focus on the changes which is happening in the brain at this particular stage of life. So adolescence cognitive development, it is the brain structure which is given on the right hand side. So there are two changes, major changes, like, corpus callosum is a part of brain where there is a development of intelligence, consciousness, and self-awareness. And the second one is prefrontal cortex, emotional control, impulse restraint, and rational decision making. So these are the two different changes which are happening uh, at this stage of adolescence. Then after that, as I have already discussed, that at this stage, it is very difficult for any teenager to, you know, um, identify himself or herself. Identity versus role confusion. In fact, it is also what we can say different in females and males. As there are so many hormonal changes are going on in this stage, so there are many changes which are which you can find differently in girls and differently in boys, and even with them through parenting is very, very important. So here basically teenagers are finding their own identity, who I am, and they are seriously looking to the future and considering a occupational identity crisis happened at this stage. So as per my theory, Manisha's theory, so formula of parenting is work upon belief and behavior. Two B's. I definitely give importance to these two things. In fact, whenever we want to change anything, we really need to more focus on these two: belief system and behavior. So let's talk more in detail regarding the adolescents' behavior. I would say belief systems. So the first thing is how the belief systems are, very, very important at this stage. The first thing is there is a transition period, as I said, which is known as cognitive development, and it also has some stages. The first is abstract thought. lot of logical and hypothetical situation goes on in the brain. The second is questioning authority, relative thinking, questioning absolute truths, differentiation between common sense rules and cultural rules. The third is metacognition, the ability to think about thinking itself. It actually basically, this is the very good stage of, we can say, self awareness in case guided properly. So, a lot of introspection because they are also finding their own identity. And another thing is egocentrism. Early and middle adults, they have this imaginary audience. They feel that everyone is observing them. And even the personal fable. These are the two stages of ego. Personal fable is all about perception of being special or vulnerable. Very sensitive situation. These are the two type of egos which actually hit at this stage. There are other influences, as I have already mentioned, that identity formation is another challenge, or we can say belief system which develops. Exploration, let's try this, let's try that. Cycling, other biking, maybe other things. So new things. So actually, there find behavioral changes. Then integration, there are many past experiences, future goals, like moral values, religious, political beliefs. These all across, I mean, different situations get integrated at this particular stage. Another is self concept. Their self beliefs. They made their own thoughts and opinions about any of the topics in the world, from concrete physical traits to more abstract values. This is the belief system which develops at the time of adolescence. Then another thing that, and another is like, it is also shaped by a variety of external factors like, family and parents have strong influence here on adolescents' fundamental values. And we have already discussed about different type of parenting. And at this time, the parenting is really critical, very critical. Then peers, like, where they have buddies. So at this time, they have more acceptance towards the social skills. They explore their identity. They also providing, social support. And another thing is culture and society, wherever they are living in India, out of India, of course, there would be cultural differences as well. Social expectations like gender role, sexuality, work ethics, everything. Then religion and spirituality. So it is the key period for exploring religious and spiritual beliefs, which is very important at this stage. So these are some of the belief system. In fact, one more thing which I would like to say, core adaptive beliefs are like, um, I matter, crucial for positive youth development. However, these are some of the examples that I matter, a belief in one's own worth and efficacy. I can do hard things. I can make a difference. I am likable. So these are the influences of adolescent belief systems. Now, there are some of the challenges. I've just mentioned this. However, we'll discuss one or two cases on this, like, time management with friends and social media. On social media, how much time they are really spending, TV activities or OTT. Nowadays, OTT is very famous. Now, attraction towards other genders, because there are so many changes which are going on, more influence on looks, financial challenges also for parties. In metro cities, I have also observed that there are many kids who are starting, even they're working. I mean, they have already started working at the age of 14, also 15, also. Even out of India, also, they really start working soon. Then emotional sharing and secrets. Out of all, this is very important. How much to share, to whom you need to share, and what are the secrets, and how will you actually balance your emotions socially and personally. I'll definitely talk and highlight this now. So, this is a case study which I have found that let's talk about. There are two different families, Mohan and Rajat's family, which were more focused on the academics activities. And they don't give much importance to, other things like sports, music, art, and craft. So one day, the boys were caught fighting in the school, and they were usually seen in the sports during uh, their free classes. So Mohan's parents have this habit of talking to their children. What happened in the school? How was your day? And likes, dislikes. They share good bonding, and they share their happiness, sadness with their other family members also. So they spend time listening to others' concerns and ideas. And Mohan parents also asked him that about his day, and he also expressed that his interest was in sports rather than academics. He actually was very much expressive towards and was discussing everything with the family. He also explained that his ability in sports and his dream is to become sportsman, successful sportsman one day. And Mohan's parents actually listened very, very carefully and they talked about it. They also talked about the basic education. And they also said that if you want to become a good, you want to become, you want to achieve something in sports, will definitely guide you and support you. So don't worry about that. They really interacted well, they listened well, and they responded well. There is another family, Rajat's parents. They were worried about Sen's future. They did not open and clear conversation with them, and they were not even bothered to understand likes, dislikes. It's a neglecting kind of parenting, and they constantly emphasize the importance of education, with which mostly people they do. And they told them that they can continue sports, but as a hobby, not as a career. You cannot choose it as a career. And they even did not like Raja's behavior. And they said that in future it should not happen and you should attend the classes regularly. So there are two different cases, two different type of parenting and two different type of reactions and responses. So here basically how to train adolescents on social and personal life. So first thing is communication, and the first thing is communication. To a good communicator, you need to be good listener. So it's very important at this particular stage to listen to your teenagers. And it is very important to be very patient, not to interrupt. It is very, very important. And try to present their thoughts. You don't have to agree or disagree with the thoughts, but it is very important to listen their likes, dislikes, their vision, their dreams, their actually interest, everything. And it's better to have open-ended questions like, how did that make you feel, rather than do you like it? It's an authoritative. Close-ended questions are real conversations like, are you tired now? Are you tired now? Instead, you can ask them, how are you feeling now? So better to use more and more open-ended questions so that they can explain how they are feeling, because emotions at this stage is very important. Once the emotions are in balance, then the social and the personal life gets balanced. So this is a very critical stage. Then after that, um, this is a chart basically how to get your teenager to listen to you. This is something which is very interesting, what we can say topic, and I can actually give 100 or more tips on it. So today we started one series. So timing is very important. Choose the right time and place where you can actually give advice to your teenager, because it depends, because at this stage they are angry and they are not very emotionally stable. Second is they don't like lectures. They don't like they don't like long instructions. It's better to keep it short and simple and be concise, stick to the point, avoid any long sentences. Then, very important, the third point, which I really feel is very, very important, is to be very positive and use the right words. Avoid the urge to insult or threaten or judge. And very important, another thing is the fourth one is be honest. So, if you have to criticize the teenager, criticize their actions, not their character, because this is the time to build the character. Very important. So, rather than judgmental, become non judgmental, support, acknowledge, freedom, critical. It's like that. I mean, this is versus this. There are two situations which is on the screen. One is supporting, another is You're like that, you're like that, you did not do this, you did not do that. There are two situations which I have explained through pictures. So basically, how parenting helps to train adolescents to balance emotions. So let's talk through two different case studies again, and we'll talk very practically here. The first case study is the Miller's family, and they have two adolescents. One is Marcus, 16 years old boy, and sister Cole, 14. So let's talk about the approaches. And the Marcus parents emphasize strict obedience and control with the little room for negotiations. Rules were very rigid, and they were using such phrases like, because I said so. So, this approach was intended to ensure that he would be disciplined, respected, and he should listen, authoritative in society. Cole's parents were like, balance, clear, consistent rules they have decided for her. And it was an open and two-way communication. They encouraged dialogue, explained the reasoning behind everything, and validated her feeling. And even they did not disagree. They disagreed. Sorry. Now, what would be the outcome if they in both the cases? So let's talk about Marcus' emotional regulation. He actually struggled somehow to manage frustration, suppressed emotions, emotional outbursts in the form of anger. Here, because it has with Cole, it was a more, uh, what we can say, it's Chloe, sorry, more open conversation. So her emotions were actually handled in a very healthy manner. And here, parents who validate emotions and provide support foster better emotional control. This is something related to emotional regulation. The second is social interaction. How this person will interact socially. This would be full of anxiety, forming deep, trusting relationships, fearing judgments and fears. And here, build healthy and positive relationship because the conversation was open. So the parental influence should be, this is a tip, I would say. Warmth and positive interactions in the home translate to better social skills in public settings. Another thing, there are two more things which are getting, affected. Self-esteem and confidence of Marcus was low because nobody heard him. However, high self-esteem for Chloe, and because supporting parents actually enhance the confidence. Decision making, which is the most and the most and the most and the most important thing, I would say. Here, because Marcus was not heard properly, therefore his problem solving skills were not developed. He was more dependent on parental direction. Here we will say that she became more independent and capable of making sound decisions. So balancing freedom with structured guidance promotes autonomy and critical thinking. So what is the outcome of this case study is we highlighted how different parenting styles shape adolescents' emotional and social development. I would say that. So I'll also take one more case study quickly. And I would really love to hear everything from all of you who are present in the session today with more case studies, with more real examples, with more their experiences. So here there is a girl, her name is Maya, who is 15 years old. Basically, at this age, she's introvert high school girl, and she who has a values her privacy. She values her privacy, and she attends a large extended family reunion annually. This is the background. And during these events, well-meaning relatives often ask invasive questions. Whenever we meet any relatives or at this age, teenagers, they actually ask that, "How's your life? How's your school? What about your grades? What are your future plans?" So even she finds these interactions embarrassing, sorry, and anxiety-inducing. So it leads to comments like a lot of people were tagging her or labeling her like she's antisocial, rude, creating conflicting within her. So, what are the challenges she has faced? Intrusive questioning, as relatives are asking, without considering social boundaries, privacy concerns. Maya feels her personal information is not her own to share, particularly with distant relatives. Perception of rudeness. Her withdrawal is misunderstood by the society as standoffishness leading to social fiction, because this is known as judgment, and parental expectations that she should be very polite and engage with all the relatives. She should not uh, show actual emotions in front of society. So these are the strategies which can be, in this particular case, can we help her. So the strategy can be, how she will balance her emotions in this particular situations. So pre-event or preparation and role play. So this can be happen implementation for Maya, that Maya and her parents establish ground rules beforehand. They practice polite, pivot, and deflection techniques. This is something a technique to handle that to such kind of questions like, how are you really enjoying your school? How your grades? Rather than saying that my grades are okay, I don't want to tell you that. They can actually practice at home that just answer like this. Grades are great. I'm really enjoying my history class and everything is going very well. Thank you. And rational is something practicing responses, building confidence. Basically, it reduces anxiety. This can be practice at home. This is a preparation from parents to child. And it provides a toolkit to uncomfortable moments. This is something which we are actually training them to face social challenges and balance their emotions. Another thing is defining boundaries, personal versus public. Maya decided which topics were strictly off limits, like, dating life, specific friend drama, test scores, and which were acceptable for general sharing. And actually, what is the outcome? This mental clarity empowers a child, adolescent, to control the narrative and determine their comfort zone. Basically, these are the things which actually help children to develop the right direction as well as the right development of a brain. Then setting a time limit and escape route. So, Maya committed to mingling for a specific amount of time for 1 hour before finding a quiet corner, okay, helping in the kitchen. Her parents supported this plan. Giving such kind of strategy reduces the feeling of being trapped, which builds trust and encourages more participation. She will not escape. She will more participate even in school, even in social circle, even in every activity also. Another thing is involve parents as blockers. So many times, you're not able to answer, and you can actually, through gestures, you can tell parents, sorry, I'm not able to answer, you handle it. You can train adolescents at home that we will do some ishara or gesture will tell you, and then you will understand that you don't have to answer, we'll handle the situations. This actually reduces the direct conflict between adolescent and relative. They feel safe. Another thing is focus on asking questions. My coach to shift the focus from herself by asking relatives about their lives. How work, Chacha? How's your life? How's your health? I hope that your business is going on good. How are you, auntie? I hope that you are actually maintaining your health, something like that. So people generally enjoy talking about themselves. It is true. This strategy allows the adolescent to be an active participant. If I will ask any question from all of you, you will also enjoy telling about your stories. I'll shift my focus after the session from me to you. So that will definitely give you chance to speak and to tell about your stories. So this is the human tendency. So this is the outcome. By implementing these strategy, Maya felt more in control in her interactions, more polite, engaging with relatives without feeling violated or anxious. The tensions with her parent eased as she was perceived as making a genuine effort. This case demonstrates that with proper tools and parental support, adolescents successfully balance both social expectations and personal privacy at family functions. So I've just given two different cases to discuss. Some of the tips are there. However, we can also include some more tips in the next session. So this is basically your adolescent is asking. Every day in 100 small ways, our children ask, do you see me? Do you hear me? Do I matter? This behavior often reflects our responses. So thank you so much for now. And I would really request everyone to, share their experiences and to add on more things into this session. Yeah. Anurag, if you want to say something, Mr. Singh, if you want to share anything, Shabana ji.
Thank you, Manisha ji. And I think many of these rules are also applied to any other interactions we have if we are not necessarily dealing with adolescents. But I think it's with people as well. I think some of these techniques, because everyone, I think, in today's age, in the world of social media, everyone want to be listened. I guess. I think Rajvin wants to share. Rajvin, you have to unmute.
Yeah, Rajan, do you want to share something? Yeah.
This session really resonates with me because
Okay.
yeah, basically eh, we live in a world where uh society is expects us to, you see, you're the youngest child, you should be with the parents, and at the same time we also have our own life to lead. So luckily my parents are open-minded, and yeah, they're very supportive of what I do. But imagine those people who have uh cases like me in the rural areas, what they would do. So even in my case, I hope that parents continue being friends instead of showing the authoritative self. I mean, we're not saying do this, do that, but you can tell like gently, because it's like even me, I have medical condition. I'm doing so well, but my as I get older, my CP condition doesn't permit me to hear loud noises, you know. It is like oh yeah, it doesn't permit me to, you know. So I think parents should be a friend instead of author. And I would say my parents are getting there. Because last time when the siblings were here with me, things were different, but now things are different. So they and the siblings always say that I am the pet of the family, but which is not. The truth is, all three of us, me, my brother, sister, and I, so all three of us get equal attention. And sometimes when I'm mid 40s, especially going into 41 next year, I feel like uh spiritual is more important, and spiritual and job is more important than spiritual, job, exercise, and yeah, and also friends are more important. But you as you get older, it's not the quantity of friends, it's actually the quality of friends who stood by you when you were young. That 5 friends who stood by you when you were young, and I have so many of them. now, and I'm saying, God, thank you, God, for laughter yoga, for me to see all of this. Without laughter yoga, I wouldn't have connection with my friends, wouldn't have being I don't know. It's just like not me, you see. So I am so happy that I have parents like mine. But e- the challenges do exist, but life goes on. And life is an orchestra. And I would say that to parents out there, do not pressure your child, uh, even if they're adult, but they know what to do. You can guide them in a uh, friend manner, not the authoritative manner, because we don't live by rules anymore. But we live by rules, but societal norms are there. We follow societal norms, but certain things, one or two things, or three or five things, we are allowed to do on our own because parents have done so much so much for us, and now it's time for us to be independent. Like for me, I'm independent motivational speaker, I'm independent writer. I mean, I never thought my flow could be so well. My flow in writing could be so well. I never thought that. So yeah, so it's just that um back then times were different. Now times different. So parents should actually parents are good, but when I go into functions, I would sometimes people will tell my parents, "Oh, your child must do this. Your child must do that." So after that, uh, yeah. So you see, that child can do this. You can't. So when I was young, it happened. So you know. So what's your take on this?
What is? I'm
What is
sorry, I didn't hear you last.
would you like to add on my situation when did I say the things that does it make sense to say that parents should be friends instead of
Yes, I completely agree. I completely, but that also happens after at this particular stage of adolescence. Because before that, it is very important
yeah
for them to build a foundation
yeah
and the
so
belief system.
no
But the
once
moment they cross 12 or
I've
14, it's very important to.
I've already crossed that boundaries. I'm nearly nearing 50s in the next 10 years. Hopefully, Vaiguruji Shukrana, I will be alive until 50. God's grace, taking one day at a time. But sometimes my parents are just fast tracks. So I will tell them, slow down, tell me one thing at a time. Let's do one
Mhm.
thing at a time. And even if I need something, the thing will come not immediately but surely. I could i could um take that as a patience.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
know, whether it's patience or tolerance, could be one of them.
That you really need to figure it out. That only you can figure it out through emotions. That which trigger is this? Is it is really patience or tolerance?
No, sometimes when they are in trouble, they are sad, we also get affected because we live with them. I don't know whether others do, but I do actually. Me and my caregiver just does get affected if someone is one parent is shouting or, and yeah, I'm sure it happens to many of us. Yeah.
All right.
What's your
Okay. Yes,
so
it is.
what
Huh.
so what's your take on this before anyone else have any questions?
Anyone else has questions? I think
Uh
Anurag wants to say something.
no, what is your take on my situation? Do you have any last words for me? Should I
Your situation, you're talking about the past which has already happened, or you're talking about something else? I mean, sorry, I didn't get you.
I think up to the present where you know
So, Manisha ji, she want to say if you want to contribute to what she shared, just shared. If you have any suggestion or feedback.
yeah, do you have
No,
any
I'm actually trying to understand her situation first. So
Can I
this
say
is
something
what is,
about her situation
yeah,
if you
sure,
allowed me?
sure, sure, sure.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Again, this is coincidentally today situations was like that, and it's good to be in again the part of this session. First of all, I would like to add for her situation that at her stage, parents are just concerned about the future. Parents are
yeah,
just concerned about the things. What will be
yeah,
the next for her, right? That her that the first priority of her parents. What would be the next for her? And second, about as you said that parents should be friendly, should be like very neutral to ourselves. At this stage, at जिस स्टेज पे भी आप हो उस स्टेज पे पेरेंट्स अपने आप फ्रेंड्स ही हो जाते हैं क्योंकि वो एक बहुत सा फेज वो गुजर चुका है उनको पता लग गया है कि आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या हैं और आप कैसा सोचते हो आप कैसा अंडरस्टैंड करते हो तो वो एक तरह से फ्रेंड ही हैं वो कुछ बहुत जगह आपको एडवाइस देंगे बहुत जगह आपको एडवाइस नहीं भी देंगे तो आपके सिचुएशन में मेरे को सिर्फ इतना लगता है कि नाउ दे जस्ट वांट कि आप अपने फ्री स्पिरिट से जो भी अच्छा कर सकते हो आप करो वो आपकी लाइफ में उतना इंटरफेरेंस नहीं करेंगे बिकॉज वो एक स्टेज निकल गई है तो आई डोंट नो मच अबाउट योर पेरेंट्स बिकॉज वो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर होता है
yeah,
एज मनीषा जी टोल्ड started her session with the belief and behavior of parents right तो वो जो बिलीफ सिस्टम है ना वो बहुत रूट है दैट इज अ रूट अगर
yeah,
वो पेरेंट्स का अगर बिलीफ सिस्टम स्ट्रांग होगा ना तो वो अपने बच्चों के अंदर कहीं ना कहीं उसको ट्रांसफर करेंगे ही करेंगे पर अगर वो वीक होगा तो वो वीकनेस भी ट्रांसफर होगी दैट इज वेरी नेचुरल बट अगेन मैं एक वर्ड यूज करता हूँ रेवोल्यूशन तो समटाइम्स जब पेरेंट्स एक अच्छे स्पिरिचुअल प्रैक्टिस में होते हैं तो वो अपना रेवोल्यूशन भी कर लेते हैं तो जब वो उस रेवोल्यूशन प्रोसेस में होते हैं तो कभी कभी वो अपने बच्चों के अंदर उस बिलीफ सिस्टम को भी डाल देते हैं जो उनको नहीं मिला but again that depend on their situation and their own mindset right और बात रही एडोलसेंस की जब बच्चे उस एज में होते हैं जहाँ उनको वो बड़े हो रहे होते हैं उनको एक फ्री जोन चाहिए होता है मुझे लगता है आज के ज़माने में पेरेंटिंग ज़्यादा टफ है पहले के ज़माने की तुलना में बिकॉज आज के पेरेंट्स बच्चों को जानबूझकर उनके माइंडसेट को ना वो बचपन से फ्री बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं जो कि बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है वो ऑलरेडी फ्री होके आए हैं आप उनको और क्यों फ्री बना रहे हो वाई उनका माइंडसेट उनका डीएनए वो जिस टाइम फैक्टर पे आज की तारीख में है वो ऑलरेडी बहुत फ्री हैं उनकी रीच बहुत ज्यादा है अगर आप उनको और फ्री बनाओगे तो दे बिकम मोर फ्री राइट और बात रही बिहेवियर की जैसा आपने बोला बिहेवियर बहुत मैटर करता है मैं रिसेंटली बहुत सारे केसेस मैंने अपने रिसेंटली कुछ महीनों में देखे हैं तो क्या होता है कि जैसे लेट्स सपोज एक न्यूक्लियर फैमिली है और उनका एक ही बेटा या बेटी है, तो अगर फादर डोमिनेटिंग है, मदर डोमिनेटिंग नहीं है, या मदर डोमिनेटिंग है, फादर नहीं है, तो दोनों में से किसी ना किसी का एक का उनका जो पैटर्न है ना, वो बच्चे के ऊपर आएगा ही आएगा। ठीक है। और फिर उस पैटर्न को अगर वो बैलेंस नहीं किया गया, जब वो एडोलसेंस में पहुंचता है, वो उसको अपना एक ट्रेड बना लेता है। फिर वो उसी पैटर्न को अपने दोस्तों के साथ भी फॉलो करता है, अपने आसपास के लोगों के साथ भी फॉलो करेगा, क्योंकि उसको तोड़ा नहीं गया। उसको तोड़ा इसलिए नहीं गया क्योंकि पेरेंट्स को लगा हाँ हाँ, ये तो मेरे बच्चे हैं, इनमें तो हमारी आदतें आनी ही चाहिए। पेरेंट्स आर पेरेंट्स को लगता है कि उनको लगता है कि बच्चे ना उनकी खुद की प्रॉपर्टी है, पर उनको ये नहीं पता बच्चे उनकी प्रॉपर्टी नहीं है, बच्चे किसी और पर्पज से आए हैं। उनको लगता है कि जो मेरा बेटा मेरे पे गई है, मेरी बेटी मेरे पे गई है, इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट, एंड इट शुड नॉट बी लाइक दैट। हर हर बच्चे का एक अपना एक, जैसे हम उसको बोलते हैं स्पिरिचुअल में, एक डेस्टिनी है। लेकिन क्या होता है कि पेरेंट्स उस पर्टिकुलर एज में ना बच्चों के बिहेवियर पे ध्यान ही नहीं देते। वो अपने बिहेवियर से बच्चों के बिहेवियर को कनेक्ट करते रहते हैं, और फिर जब वो 17 18 19 तक पहुंचते हैं, तब तक उनका एक ब्रेन पैटर्न बन चुका होता है। फिर वो चाहकर भी उससे निकलने में उनको बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है, और फिर उस ब्रेन पैटर्न के अकॉर्डिंग ही बच्चे अपने फ्रेंड सर्कल को भी चुनते हैं। मैं बहुत ज्यादा एग्जांपल नहीं लूंगा, मैं सिर्फ अपना एग्जांपल लूंगा। व्हेन आई वाज इन दैट स्टेज, luckily I got a very good atmosphere, and on that time my grandmother was there. So when I was 13 14 to my 17 18, मैं अपने ग्रैंडमदर से बहुत कनेक्ट था। तो जो मेरा बिलीफ या उस टाइम का बिहेवियर सिस्टम है ना, वो मेरे ग्रैंडमदर से बहुत ज्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस्ड हो गया। और ये मैं आपको अपना एक्सपीरियंस इसलिए बता रहा हूँ, व्हेन माय ग्रैंडमदर पास्ड अवे, the day she passed away, and after that I became a so responsible, so serious, so focused about the life. Before that I was behaving like a normal teen. मैं खेलता था, कूदता था, पर जैसे वो गए, मुझे लगा कि जैसे मेरे ऊपर कोई वो जिम्मेवारी दे गए। वो वो दे के नहीं गए थे, बिकॉज वो उनका इन्फ्लुएंस मेरे पे बहुत था उस पर्टिकुलर स्टेज पे, 4 5 साल के स्टेज पे। वैसे ही होता है कि जब अगर आप पेरेंट्स के इन्फ्लुएंस में हो, तो कहीं ना कहीं उनके हैबिट्स भी आपके अंदर आती हैं। या आप अगर जॉइंट फैमिली में भी हो, जैसे उन्होंने बोला कि मैं सिबलिंग्स के साथ हूँ, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो पैटर्न आपके बिहेवियर में आएंगे ही आएंगे। तो इम्पोर्टेंस ये चीज होती है कि 7 to 16 या 17 तक ना, वो जो बच्चों का पीरियड है, वो बहुत डिसिप्लिन वे में होना चाहिए, बहुत ज्यादा। और जो 15 से अबव है या 16 से अबव है टिल 20, आप उनको हल्का हल्का उनको फिर रिलैक्स करो, उनको इंडिपेंडेंट बनाओ। जैसे मनीषा ने बोला कि उनको डिसीजन मेकिंग सिखाओ, उनको थोड़ा क्रिएटिव बनाओ, उनके साथ थोड़ा थोड़ा फ्रेंडली होना शुरू करो, बट टिल 15 यू कैन नॉट, अदरवाइज वो आपको टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड लेंगे। इसके भी बहुत लाइव केसेस है, बट आई वुड नॉट डिस्कस एट दिस राइट नाउ। बट कहीं ना कहीं वो ना एक रेवोल्यूशन पार्ट कहीं ना कहीं मिस करते हैं। और लास्ट में मैं एक पॉइंट जरूर बोलना चाहूंगा, ये सिर्फ इंडिया के लिए नहीं है, बाहर के लिए भी है। मैंने फॉरेन कंट्रीज में बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स को देखा है, मैं मिला भी हूँ। पहले क्या होता था, इंडिया में भी और बाहर में भी, बच्चों को ना 4 5 साल के बाद भेज दिया जाता था बाहर पढ़ने के लिए, टिल देयर 15। इवन नॉट इन इंडिया, इवन आउटसाइड, इवन इन ग्रीक, इन यूरोप ऑल्सो। वो इसलिए किया जाता था कि वो घर के जो मदर फादर के इमोशंस हैं, या और भी इमोशंस है, वो उनसे दूर हो, वो अपना एक माइंडसेट डेवलप करे। ठीक है। अभी क्या हो गया है, आई एम रियली सॉरी अबाउट द सोसाइटी वेयर वी आर लिविंग राइट नाउ, हम अपने बच्चों के साथ इतना ज्यादा अटैच हैं, हमें लगता है कि ये हमारी प्रॉपर्टी है। नो 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 नो, वी आर एक्चुअली नॉट। हम उनको ग्रो नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम उनको ना बांध रहे हैं। पहले हर सोसाइटी में बच्चों को 5 ईयर to 15 ईयर तक बाहर भेज दिया जाता था, और ये कल्चर इंडिया में भी था इन गुरुकुल फॉर्म, और बाहर भी था इन कॉन्वेंट फॉर्म। ये जो कॉन्वेंट स्कूल का मेथड है ना, ये सब एक ही जैसे थे, डे बोर्डिंग जो बाहर के यूरोप स्कूल में होते थे, ये पूरे वर्ल्ड वाइड चलता था। लेकिन जस्ट बिकॉज कि ये टाइम लैप्स इतना हो गया, अब न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज हो गई हैं, माँ बाप अपने बच्चों को ऐसे पकड़ के बैठे हैं जैसे पता नहीं इन्होंने क्या अचीव कर लिया है कुछ। दे अचीव समथिंग ग्रेट इन द लाइफ, बट उनको ये नहीं समझ में आ रहा कि बच्चों को पकड़ने का नहीं है, बच्चों के ब्रेन को डेवलप करना है। जब वो 5 साल से 15 साल तक अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी खुद उठाएंगे, सोचो वो जब 15 के बाद जाएंगे तो उनको आपको ज़्यादा सिखाने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी, वो आधी से ज़्यादा चीज़ें सीख के आएंगे। तो पहले पेरेंटिंग ज़्यादा आसान थी, बहुत फ्रूटफुल थी। एक्सेप्शंस तब भी होते होंगे, नो डाउट, लेकिन अब पेरेंटिंग इसलिए मुश्किल हो गई है क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं हम अपने बच्चों को बेसिक पार्ट नहीं सिखा रहे हैं, और वो है हाउ टू डिटैच। हम बच्चों को सिर्फ एक चीज सिखा रहे हैं, हाउ टू अटैच विद आर इमोशंस, विद हम अपने रिलेटिव के इमोशन से अटैच हैं, हम अपने फ्रेंड सर्कल से अटैच हैं, और वो इतनी ज्यादा अटैचमेंट है कि हम अपने कोर को समझ ही नहीं पाते हैं। और फिर वो एक ऐसा मेस बन जाता है कि वो हम आपस के रिलेशनशिप्स को ही स्पॉइल करना शुरू कर देते हैं। वो फिर एक वो नेवर एंडिंग प्रोसेस है। और उसमें सबसे लास्ट पॉइंट जो मनीषा ने बोला, दैट्स अ स्पिरिचुअल। फिर एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वही काम आता है। जब आप उस प्रैक्टिस में जाते हो, फिर आपके धीमे धीमे आपके क्लाउड क्लियर होते हैं। तो थैंक यू सो मच। बस ये छोटे से पॉइंट्स है मेरे, मैंने ऐड ऑन कर दिया।
Thank you so much. It was really nice. I mean, ये सारी की सारी ना case studies actually we can discuss, we can add on in different sessions. यहीं पे तो actually parenting coach या counselor काम आता है
राइट
ideally. So आजकल basically coaches का जमाना क्यों आ गया? Because they are not able to handle or they are not able to envision
राइट
things.
राइट
इसीलिए yeah, even they do not have time. As we have
करेक्ट।
also discussed, हमारी लास्ट वाले एक सेशन में हमने डिस्कस किया था कि बड़े बड़े शहर के, अब तो टीयर 2 सिटीज में भी यही हालत हो गई है,
हम्म
that
हम्म
they don't have time.
हम्म।
So therefore they need another guidance for this. So everywhere mentor coaches are required.
यू नो, तो आज की बात है, आई वॉज रीडिंग समवेयर, मैं कहीं बैठा था ऑफिस में, तो मेरे पास एक आर्टिकल आया। उसमें एक मुंबई के कपल है, they hired a they hired a manager for their home and they are paying 1 lakh rupee to their manager, right? they are, और वो उसको 1 लाख रुपए दे रहे हैं,
Okay.
क्या मैन, वो उनको 1 लाख रुपए किस चीज को मैनेज करने के दे रहे हैं? उनका घर और उनके बच्चे। बिकॉज वो दोनों एज अ पेरेंट बहुत बिजी हैं अपने कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ में, वो अपने लिक्विडेटिव जॉब को छोड़ना नहीं चाहते, तो उन्होंने क्या किया, 1 लाख रुपए हायर करे, मैनेजर को हायर कर लिया। उसका क्या काम है, घर को देखेगा, घर की मेंटेनेंस को देखेगा, और उनके बच्चों को भी देखेगा, स्कूल से लाएगा, उनको पढ़ाएगा, सब करेगा। पर उनको ये नहीं पता आज वो जो 1 लाख रुपए खर्च कर रहे हैं, दैट्स गुड फॉर देयर मेंटेनेंस। बट पेरेंट्स थिंक का, अभी जो लोग बहुत एडवांस है उनको लगता है कि ठीक है यार, उनको इंडिपेंडेंट छोड़ दो। बट वो बच्चों को वो वैल्यू सिस्टम तब तब भी नहीं दे पाएंगे। तो या तो चीजें बहुत एक्सट्रीम है, बिल्कुल ही खराब है, यू नो, मतलब जैसे मैंने अभी आज का एग्जांपल दिया, इस केस में भी बच्चे उनके साथ कनेक्ट नहीं होंगे, बच्चों को वो सिस्टम नहीं मिलेगा, बच्चों को लगेगा ओके हमें तो उस मैनेजर ने रेस किया है, हमारे पेरेंट ने थोड़ा रेस किया है, यू नो। तो आज की तारीख में पेरेंट्स को समझना बहुत ज्यादा, पेरेंट्स को खुद को सीखना चाहिए, बच्चों से ज्यादा पेरेंट्स को सीखना पड़ेगा कि भाई इस चीज को हैंडल कैसे करें। तो मैंने आज वो आर्टिकल पढ़ा तो मुझे मुझे लगा कि यार व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन।
Hmm.
कल को वही बच्चे बड़े होके 2 लाख रुपए देंगे किसी
Right.
और मैन 2 लाख किसी और मैनेजर को देंगे, बोलेगे आप हमारे पेरेंट्स को हैंडल करो, और फिर वही पेरेंट्स इमोशनली टूट जाएंगे।
या आई तुम्हारी इस बात से मुझे एक सडनली एक स्टोरी याद आ गई. इट हैपेंड इवन आई, बहुत छोटा, मतलब तेरे को सिमिलर स्टोरी ही है. There was a kid who was telling the child, who was telling his father that I have made a painting. Please see. And he was, I think,
हम्म
5 years, 6 years old. See that
हम्म
how beautifully I have made a painting. How beautifully I have made a painting. And
हम्म
his father was saying, wait, I'm working something on laptop. Again,
हम्म
he said, okay. Again, he came back.
हम्म
And then he was working on the laptop and he, without उसकी painting देखे हुए, he said, नहीं नहीं, ये तो बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत बढ़िया है. और वो इसको भी समझ में आ गया that he is not even listening to me, कॉल पर है, लैपटॉप पे काम कर रहा है, और बोलती है बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छी पेंटिंग है, बिना देखे.
हम्म
The role got opposite. I mean, बड़ा हुआ, role
हम्म
opposite हुआ. They have become kid, parents have become kid, and he has become
हम्म
adolescents.
राइट
And when they were saying कि अरे मेरा चश्मा ठीक करवा दो, there is some problem, and he was
हम्म
saying sorry, I don't have time because I have much work in corporate.
हम्म।
Because the father did not listen in the childhood, therefore now kid is also not listening.
करेक्ट, करेक्ट,
कि अच्छा चश्मा ही तो
एब्सोल्युट।
ठीक करवाना है, आप खुद ही करवा लो, ऑनलाइन करवा लो, मेरे पास इतना वक्त नहीं है। एंड देन दे वर फीलिंग हर्ट।
यस, बट दे डोंट नो ना उन्होंने क्या किया उस टाइम पे।
या या
और मैं
वो सब
आई
कुछ की तो नहीं हो दी है ना उसने।
आई एम स्टिल एडमायर ऑफ फॉरेन पेरेंटिंग, क्योंकि उन्होंने ना वो पुराने वाली चीज को अभी भी नहीं छोड़ा है। वो क्या करते हैं, 18 तक आप अपने बच्चों को बहुत अच्छा रेज करते हैं, और 18 19 के बाद उनको छोड़ देते हैं। अभी भी उनके कल्चर में ये है, अभी भी है स्टिल। बट अभी क्या हो गया, मैं आपको प्रैक्टिकल बताता हूँ। आई हैव बीन टू फ्यू कंट्रीज। अभी इंडियंस बाहर चले गए हैं, या एशियंस, नॉट इंडियन, सॉरी, एशियंस, साउथ ईस्ट एशियंस बहुत बाहर चले गए, राइट। अभी एशियंस का पैटर्न क्या चलता है, मेरे दो बेटे हैं, दोनों बाहर आ गए हैं, दे बिकम एनआरआई, मुझे इनके साथ ही देना है। अभी फॉरेन वाले एशियन से इन्फ्लुएंस होने लग गए, और वो उनके बच्चे खराब हो गए, उनको लगता है यार ये क्या हो गया। मतलब सोसाइटी में ना एक ऐसा पजल आ गया है, बिकॉज ऑफ की ग्लोबलाइजेशन की वजह से, क्योंकि अब अमेरिका में भी इंडियंस हैं, इंडिया में भी अमेरिकन्स हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में इंडियंस हैं, श्रीलंका के हैं, सिंगापुर के हैं, तो सब मिक्स हो गया। तो बच
दैट
ना
इज क्रॉस
पेरेंट्स,
कल्चर।
दैट्स अ क्रॉस कल्चर। लेकिन लोग ना अपने बेसिक्स भूल रहे हैं। बेसिक्स क्या था, वही जो मैंने अभी पहले डिस्कस किया। पर अगेन बेसिक्स पे काम तब हो पाता है कि जब पेरेंट्स के अपने बेसिक्स अच्छे हो, या अगर नहीं भी हैं, चलो लेट्स सपोज नहीं भी हैं ड्यू टू एनी रीजन। तो अब जैसे आपका सेशन है ये, अब इस सेशन में अगर ऐसे मैं अभी देखा था, अभी कितने पार्टिसिपेंट हैं, हम 5 हैं। ऐसे सेशंस में कम से कम 50 100 बंदे जुड़ने चाहिए, और पेरेंट्स जुड़ने चाहिए। हाउ विड दे लर्न इट। मतलब अगर पेरेंट्स ऐसे सेशंस में जुड़ेंगे ही नहीं, तो हाउ विल दे नो टू हाउ टू पेरेंटिंग। उनको क्या लगता है, नहीं 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 नहीं, वी आर डूइंग द बेस्ट। इफ दे आर डूइंग द बेस्ट, तो व्हाई नॉट सो हैप्पी। आप खुश क्यों नहीं हो।
दिस इज द
अगर
मोस्ट व्हाट वी कैन से, क्या कहना चाहिए मुझे, आई एम नॉट गेटिंग द राइट वर्ड। ये सबसे बड़ा इल्यूजन है उनका कि बिकॉज दे हैव गिवन बर्थ देयरफॉर दे नो हाउ टू ट्रेन देम। ये
राइट,
सबसे बड़ा मिथ है।
राइट। आप देखो, एक एक फिर मैं लास्ट एग्जांपल देता हूँ, शिबाना जी, मैं 5 मिनट और ले लूँ प्लीज। हेलो।
Yeah, yeah, sure.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
गो अहेड गो अहेड।
मैं आपको 2 मूवीज का नाम देता हूँ। एक मूवी का नाम है कभी खुशी कभी गम, सबने देखी होगी। इट वॉज वेरी फेमस मूवी, ठीक। एक मूवी है द रेकलेस, विल स्मिथ की है, यूएस की, ठीक है। अब मैं 2 एग्जांपल देता हूँ। कभी खुशी कभी गम में एक बड़ा अच्छा पैटर्न दिखाया गया है। पेरेंट्स अपने बच्चों के साथ बहुत अटैच हैं इमोशनली। फिर उनका बेटा लंदन जाता है, फिर उनका छोटा बेटा अपने भाई को लेने जाता है, फिर वो अपने पेरेंट्स को लेके जाता है, एंड दैट आर सो इमोशनल टैंगल विद ईच अदर, है ना। वो पूरी फिल्म में एंड तक रोना धोना चलता है, और एंड में जाके वो मिलते हैं, ठीक है। तो वो मूवीज अगर मैं और मेरे बच्चे देखें, तो वो क्या देखेंगे, हो वाओ, मजा आ गया। क्योंकि वो हमारे कल्चर को अडेप्ट करता है, हमारे इमोशंस को अडेप्ट करता है ना। दैट इज वेरी कनेक्टेड टू आवर कल्चर। पर ये कल्चर है नहीं एक्चुअली, ये बनाया जाता है। अब मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूँ, जो मैंने आपको दूसरी मूवी रेकलेस का एग्जांपल दिया। उसमें विल स्मिथ अपने बेटे के साथ बास्केटबॉल खेल रहा है, ठीक है। तो उसका बेटा उसको बोलता है, डैड मैं कैसा खेल रहा हूँ। तो डैड ने उसको बोला, तुम एवरेज खेल रहे हो। लेकिन वो अच्छा खेल रहा था। तो डैड एक शॉट मारता है, विल स्मिथ कहता है, मेरे को लगता है कि जैसे मैं एवरेज था अपने बचपन में, तुम भी वैसे ही बनोगे। तो वो 6 7 साल का बेटा होता है, तो कहता ओके डैडी, आप सही कह रहे हो, तो ऐसा ही होगा। तो वो उसको कहता है कि बेटा मुझे लगता है तुम बास्केटबॉल की जगह कुछ और ट्राई करो, ये तुम्हारा टाइम वेस्ट है। तो वो बड़ा प्यारा सा बच्चा है, वो मान जाता है, ये है बिलीफ, वो उसको बिलीफ डाल रहा है, ठीक है। पर जैसे ही वो उसको हाँ बोलता है, यस, विल स्मिथ उसको 5 मिनट देखता है और उसको बोलता है, लुक, जो मैंने अभी तुम्हें कहा वो गलत था। तुम्हें आज के बाद अगर कोई भी ये कहे कि तुम ये नहीं कर सकते, या तुम एवरेज हो, तो ये तुम कभी मत सुनना, चाहे वो मैं ही क्यों ना हूं। अगर मैं एज ए फादर तुम्हें ये कह रहा हूँ ड्यू टू एनी रीजन, तो तुम मेरी भी मत मानना। अगर तुम अच्छा खेलते हो तो तुम अच्छा खेलते हो, ये आज मैं तुम्हें सीख दे रहा हूँ। तो वो अपने फादर को बड़े प्यार से देखता है, फिर उसको बहुत प्यारा सा हक देता है। एंड आफ्टर उस मूवी का एंड होता है ही बिकम अ नेशनल बास्केटबॉल प्लेयर एंड नेशनल स्टार,
Wow.
क्योंकि वो उसको फादर ने 2 एग्जाम्पल दिए खुद के ही कि अगर मैं भी तेरे को मना करूं तो मेरे को भी मना कर देना, अगर मैं तेरे को नीचे गिराऊं तो मेरे को भी मत बख्शना,
So,
एज अ फादर, राइट?
so यहाँ पे
तो
आइडियली दो जो वर्ड्स मैंने पकड़े हैं, आई एम सॉरी इंटरप्टिंग. One is the art of appreciation and one is never to take any criticism.
राइट, डेफिनेटली। और ये कल्चर का फर्क इसलिए आता है क्योंकि वहाँ के पेरेंट्स को लगता है कि हम अपने बच्चों को मेंटली और फिजिकली स्ट्रांग बनाएं, रादर देन हम उनको ओवर इमोशनल बनाएं। हमारे यहाँ के कल्चर को इतना ओवर इमोशनल
Correct.
अब बनाया, हमारे यहाँ के कल्चर को ना ओवर इमोशनल बना दिया गया है, जो था नहीं लेकिन बना दिया गया है, यू नो। हमारे परंपरा का नाम लेके ना हमने एक्चुअली परंपरा को स्पॉइल ही किया है। अगर हम रियल परंपरा पकड़े ना तो हमारे जो बहुत पुराने पूर्वज थे उन्होंने वही काम किया। वो अपने बच्चों को गुरुकुल भेजते थे, पढ़ाते थे, उनको फिजिकली मेंटली स्ट्रांग बनाते थे और फिर उनको आगे उनकी लाइफ आगे कंटिन्यू होती थी। लेकिन जस्ट बिकॉज कि हम इमोशनली वीक हैं तो हम अपने बच्चों को इमोशनली वीक बना रहे हैं। सो दैट वाज अ इस एरा के मैंने आपको 2 एग्जांपल दिए क्योंकि मैं मूवीज देखता हूँ तो मेरे को ना ये बहुत पॉइंट्स बड़े मैटर करते हैं कि मुझे कौन सी मूवी देखनी है और मुझे कौन सी मूवी नहीं देखनी। थैंक यू सो मच।
Good points.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
Anurag,
you.
for
Thank you for
sharing.
sharing.
Awesome. Thank you, Maniisha ji. It was a wonderful, very
All right. Thank you,
thought-provoking
Smanju.
session. And
Thank you.
yeah,
All
and
right.
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
And see you all again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See ya.